Hello and welcome to the Aaron Russos podcast. Today's podcast, I just wanted to let you know, I guess, some evidence-based things that I have witnessed, seen and experienced myself. So I've been able to, firstly, back in 2018, heal my own incurable condition in 14 days using Foodison and some other naturally aligning products. This is a full spectrum. It's like a full body immune and DNA restore, boost, whatever. It's not like any form of medicine or treatment or therapy that you could ever experience. It's a set of events, a lot of them all done together in 14 days, the same thing every day for 14 days, and each day your immune rises, your homeostasis oscillates to a higher level, and in those higher levels your body's in higher states, and when it's naturally aligned you have different abilities, higher abilities to do certain things and bits and pieces. But I guess the thing that, the thing that fascinates me about all of this is the diet, okay? And when you study diet, you look at, say you went all the way back to before Noah and the Great Flood and all the rest of it, and you look at our history and, look, although I don't believe the history that we've been taught in school is our full history. I think there's a bit missing in everything. But what I wanted to say is that before Noah, we were all vegans, okay? We're all plant-based. There was nothing else. And then the flood happened, we came back, and then we were allowed to eat meat. But there was some sort of rules around that as well. I don't think, that... we used to live for hundreds of years. We know that as a fact, okay? And I think we can again. Well, I know we can again based on what I've been studying and understanding. But I wanted to say something to all the people that make fun of vegans, okay? Whether people are doing it for health reasons, because a lot of people have gone vegan, it takes the pressure off the body in processed foods and heavy meats and things like that, so it gives you a lot of energy back. But what I wanted to share with you is that I've done a lot of, you could call it biohacking, testing, measuring with different diets, different sick people, but everything that I do, and I do on myself, also so that I can see and say, hand on heart, that I fully, while I only impart wisdom or say something if I know about it. I'm not going to say something if I'm not 100% sure. So what does a vegan diet do? Well, it's the only diet that I've come across thus far in my very unique line of work that's healed an incurable disease. I've done all the same sort of thing with other nutrients, meats, different diets, even a less meat diet, instead of fucking, because we do eat a terrible amount of meat compared to everything else. And, people come out and, I must say that carnivore diet's gone to the shit. That sort of was a bit of a hot air balloon, wasn't it? It came out and boom. And also, can I just say that no matter what influencer, especially, when it comes to food, pushing their own personal diets on you that works for them is the stupidest thing I've ever seen in my life. What sort of a fucking person sees someone online? He might be of a certain geographic nature, he might come from a certain place in the universe. Now, either way, each person's own disposition is your own. What what someone else might work for you and might not. I don't know why all these people are sharing these things, and it doesn't matter what diet it is. They're sharing these things as if it's going to fucking work for everyone. It's never going to work for anyone. It's pretty simple to see all that, mate. So why are you fucking pushing your own diet? Oh, life, this is what I eat in a day of a life of fucking a malacca. That's what you are, a fucking malacca, mate. You're just creating more fucking... If everyone did what I did and made sure that they knew what they were talking about before they opened their fucking mouth, we wouldn't have 50% of your life wouldn't be a lie. Wouldn't be an absolute fucking fragmentation of your reality, sending you fucking doing things that you don't even know why you're fucking doing them. Okay? That's what's going on, mate. Does it mean that I say, oh, everyone should eat vegan all the time? No. There's lots of other factors, and fucking thousands of them, to the reason why, no, you don't and shouldn't stick to that diet. We are in a real fucking bit of a pickle because our culture and everything has us saying, all right, if there's something wrong with you, you go to someone else to find out what's growing inside of you that's not right. And this obviously does certain things, okay? Not only does it open up people to getting, stuck on the wrong area, because you've got to remember, right? It's like when we built all these buildings with asbestos in it, right? We thought it was okay. No one knew what they were doing. It's like when my doctor said, oh, you've got this disease, I'll put you on this medication, and then years later I go to the doctor to get off the medication. He says, no, you have to be on that for the rest of your life now that you've taken it. Well, no one's fucking told me this, mate. I didn't know that all these things were bad for me. You don't know all these things. You don't know what's good or what's bad, so I never, ever recommend people staying on any diet. In fact, when I was sick and I did a vegan diet and took some CBD, got myself into a higher state through homeostasis, boosted my immune, like I was doing things, I was feeling like Bradley Cooper off Limitless. And no human has ever been to that elevated late state of homeostasis where everything is working at optimum in that body. It's a fucking fantastic feeling to experience. But it goes against everything that the mainstream has presented to you in this lowered state of dysfunctional state of chaotics that your nervous system is in. And then you can't get out of it. In fact, you don't even know any better because you've just been to school for 14 years doing repetition for nothing for the real world than to actually be a compliant, good customer. So it's not your fault. And like, I'm you, okay? I'm you. Before I healed myself, I was you. Before that, 8 years ago, when I healed myself, before that I even, was healed of other things through kinesiology and had some other profound life. I didn't fucking wake up then. It was only through this last healing that has given me an awakening. And now that I've seen it, I can't unsee it, and it's sort of made me realise or see other things. This whole thing is different to the linear 3D fucking whatever you learn, however you learn here on, because you're learning because you're solely indoctrinated from something that only recognizes the physical aspects of a holistic human being. Does that make sense? You're living in a world, in a reality, in a part of a system. You're born into it. You've got no alternative. There's no alternative to this life that we're living, no matter how harsh, no matter how fucking nasty, no matter how it's eroding your human interface. That's all you've got, right? And it's physical. The magical parts of yourself that you don't know about is the mental and the energetic or the spiritual. And those things fulfill you holistically, okay? But you're not part of that. The answers are in that part, okay? Your soul and your mental part. I can give you things that mentally or energetically affect your soul and cause certain diseases, certain things that you do on a daily basis, especially if we're talking about energy as an energy worker. You probably don't even know what it means or seen, but you go to an energy worker and say, look, I'm doing this. Do you think it's good for my life and what I'm doing? They'll go, no, because they understand that soul part. Or you go mentally, oh, this is what I'm exposed to, this is what I see, this is the picture, my story, is this helping with my... Oh, no! You're exacerbating, I don't even know if that's a word, exacerbating. You are amplifying the problem, your sickness, your illness, your disease. You're amplifying it to a point where the universe, if it's an energetic, if it's the laws, there are laws. The law of attraction says like attracts like, will give you more of what you say. But if you're saying to the universe, cancer, 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 I got cancer, poor me, cancer, this, that, the other, cancer, the universe only hears cancer. It doesn't hear that you want to be healed of cancer. If you want to be healed of cancer, we all know that manifesting, we have to talk in the present tense. I am healed. I am healed. I am well. I am world-class researcher solving the problems that are causing my health problems in my life. There's a certain way to talk. There's a certain way. So now that I'm talking to you, you're having fucking pennies drop and you're going, oh my God. All of these people that I've seen online are bringing more cancer to themselves. They're bringing more bad shit to themselves. Can you see what I see? Can you see what I see? Can you see what I see? And I've not only gone through and identified this and seen this and whatever, I've tested it. I've done certain things that I don't want, and I've posted it everywhere, and I've spoken about it daily, and I've gone on about it, and I've got more of the same shit. And likewise, I've completely turned off from it, moved on, and then I've found that the energy didn't follow me. Cancer is caused by different things. It's never one thing. Obviously, we don't know collectively from the medical fraternity, the governments, regardless of fucking 100 years of studying it, unlimited resources, money, greatest minds ever on the planet, still can't get it, okay? And that's because it's holistic, right? We're holistic beings. Why would you treat 33% of a human being and think that you've fucking got the full picture? You'd have to be fucking stupid, wouldn't you? To think that you're just gonna deal with this physical fucking thing, even though we're holistic human beings, even though the consensus is 90% of the planet knows they've got a soul. 100% of the fucking planet knows that when their mind's not right and they think of things and bad things enters, it doesn't end up any good. It's not a positive thing. They have an emotional guidance system, But you fucking clouded it through human conditioning, through fucking people's nervous systems, through fucking everyone trying to market to you and sell you something you don't fucking need, through bullies, through narcissists, through false information. That's why you don't have the fucking cures. There's friends. I've lost fucking family. I've lost my fucking grandmothers to cancer. If they were here right now and I knew what I knew, I'm never going to lose another fucking relative in my family to cancer. Because I know what causes it. Across all three planes. Yes, there's free will. And if they want to fucking be sick and die, that's their choice. But I'm telling you now, my love for them will be greater than anything they can tell me. And I don't give a fuck. I will drop my life as I've done in the past, which none of you can fucking acclaim to doing. I've dropped my whole life today in 1 fucking second, left my job, left everything and gone to be with someone that I love to help them, show them how to heal. And it works every time, 100% of the time, which no doctor can say with anything that they do. We are living in a time where everyone's starting to wake up. It's I'm a numerologist, okay? There's not just like numerology to do with your life path, your numbers, energy, cycles, all the rest of it. There's also universal. What's the planet going through? What's Gaia going through? What's Mother Nature? What's the, what cycles is she in? What's the, and through this we can see the changes, and the change is slow, right? Takes us a long time to grow up. We move into the one place. Our change, if you know that the only way to get, whether it be good or bad change, the only way to get change, right, where the good shit is, if you've fucking been doing the same thing for so long, you have to go to get change. You need, if you want to get growth in anything, something has to change. So that's what I'm saying. Change is an agent for growth. No change, no growth. Simple as that. There's no ifs or buts or excuses or whatever. Like, you can fucking, sometimes I think everyone likes to make some excuses so they don't have to step outside. We like being in our comfort zone. We like having our comfort. We like having our comfortable job. We like knowing what we're doing. We don't like to fucking start too many new jobs and get put into that uncomfortable. Fucking change is traumatic to human beings, and it shouldn't be, because it's the only place they get growth. So are we stunting our own growth as human beings by not being open and receptive to change? I think we are. But that's what we're dealing with. We're dealing with a world. Now, what I've just told you, you go, well, that's fucking amazing. Fucking just tell someone, fucking share it. I get this all the time, every day. People are going, man, the shit you fucking just sold, why don't you fucking tell everyone? Dude, it's been 8 fucking years. The Prime Minister knows, the presidents of multiple countries know, health departments, every major organisation, medical professors, doctors, leaders all around the world, everyone knows. And you know what? In a lot of instances, some of them retain the information just in case something happens to them or their family down the track. Now, what a fucked up world that is. That they won't promote this stuff because you can't promote something that costs nothing, that is just inherent in each and every one of us, is natural, can't be patented, can't be copyrighted. It's just the template of how a human being actually works, which is what do you call it when something can change? The template is changeable, it's manipulative, it's evolving, it's continual growth. It always is fluid. So that's what we've got on the planet. Because none of you have got anything wrong, there's no need for you to go anywhere and have a look for anything. Okay? So therefore, you're happy to play the game. You've got 5 senses that are taking in all your information, your subset of beliefs, your beliefs. There's lots of things going on, and all of them are confusing you at the moment to keep you in this state where you make a good customer, you make a good compliant, docile human being on the planet. No matter where you live, you're being absolutely fucking shafted to bits. A lot of the people, even, in low jobs, don't understand all this sort of stuff because it's holistic. Imagine going to school as a doctor, 6 years, 8 years, specialty, 10 years, 12 years, and you don't learn one thing about nutrition, which is the biggest way to improve someone's fucking health because they eat multiple times a day. It just fits into the system, right? And then you go and work in a practice, and you hear of mindfulness, and you hear of nutrition, you hear of this, you hear of that, and you even go walking in nature yourself. You go hiking as a doctor because it feels good. You've got an emotional guidance system. It feels good, so you're out there fucking doing your thing. Now, that doctor becomes very high up, and he becomes a fucking advisor to the government, and he gets presented with Aaron's protocol that he did 8 years ago to heal himself of chronic anxiety in 14 days using a different form of, I call it full spectrum healing. It's holistic, and you do a whole lot of things which holistically aligns you back to your natural state. The natural state doesn't heal anything. What happens is, when you're in these elevated states, we're already geared up to heal, right? You cut yourself, it heals. You break a bone, it heals. It might take 6 weeks, 8 weeks, but you eventually heal. Everything in your body is geared towards healing. There's a system there. When you're aligned, when you've got homeostatic alignment and everything is moved out of the way and that alignment goes, that ability to heal yourself goes up. So instead of just doing cuts and burns and bruises, it starts fucking taking out some things which are obviously man-made, which is some of the thing I've come to, because obviously all cancers, chronic anxiety, autoimmune, that's the only experience I have with these protocols and bits and pieces, and it works every time. Outside of that, I'm not willing to talk about it because I'm sure that it helps with a lot of health conditions, but I've also had experience with working on mutated gene diseases, so the things like cystic fibrosis or SPG56. We're talking about a mutated gene disease that you can't change a gene. You've got epigenetics, you can turn 600 on and off, but either way, it's a different way of looking at it, and that also comes from a different place. If you look at all the stuff I've done, the reason why I've been able to do it is because I've holistically looked at a human being and then gone back fucking BC, hundreds of thousands of years to everything we've done, and gone, okay, this is the system, this is what we're part of, and this is what caused it, and this is how I offset it. Can't do that with a mutated gene, because the origins of that could go so far back. It could go back to the Iron Age, where we're exposed to rare metals that mutated our gene back then, which then the parents are the carriers of these genes. They have a child and has cystic fibrosis. Now, if we're dealing with that, how do you change that? Now, through my experience of uncovering things that you all thought were set in stone that are completely pliable, manipulative, and also changeable, like healing yourself of an incurable disease, which no one has done on the planet, period. It's all been eradications, vaccines, treatments, and all that. No one doctor in the whole medical system for the last 100 years has ever put a paper in that's healed anything. Okay, that's a fact. I have, and it was 8 years ago. I'm the only person in the history of human history ever fucking save this post, bitches, that's ever fucking healed anything, period. And then I've gone on to do other things, bits and pieces. So you can see how you can choose to live in the world you live in and go to work and fucking pretty much work, give all your money away, you know, just to survive, fucking have a pretty average life, live in survival, go through, you know, weight gain, weight loss, family problems, relationship problems, all the rest of it. It's a pretty dark and negative fucking lineup we're being born into. And then I've come along, never paid attention at school, got kicked out of school, never did the whole education thing at all. Year 7, they go down, we've got to put you up. You did nothing all year, but we've got to put you up. Must have been a reason why I was fucking rejecting the system. But then I get to a point where, you know, I'm a lifelong numerologist, taught, trained, and worked alongside Mark Gruner, the numbers science guy from Harvard University. He was there for 30-something years, and he retired to the fucking small town that I lived in when I was a teenager in Australia. I'm not giving you shit just for the hell of giving it to you. I'm not giving you shit for any motivation other than to say, hey, I healed myself along the journey. This is what I found. I think you could do something with it. And I tried to do the right thing. I've got 700 correspondences. I've got different levels of correspondence with different people and organisations. And let me share one about Dr. Ken Duckworth. Okay, he's from NAMI, which is in Washington and Washington State. There's 2 versions. I think it's the National American Mental Health Initiative, something like that anyway. And so Dr. Duckworth, back in 2019, said in an email, which I've got, happy to share if anyone wants to email me at foodison.yahoo.com. I'll share anything with you. Sends me an email going, oh, sounds cool, send me your white paper. And I said, well, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a thingo, blah, 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 but I'll learn about it and try and get you some information. Now, he kept going back and forth and trying to understand my information, and he was from someone who works in mental health. You know, in Australia, I've retired a couple of state psychiatrists on this road, which is also littered through our fucking podcast or whatever. But anyway, so I eventually get some help. Okay, I'm a very resourceful person, so when I can't, I go, fucking, what's a white paper? So I go and talk to a friend of mine who is a doctor, a family member, doesn't want to fucking anything for it, but doesn't want to be named. Why the fuck does my own doctor that actually did the protocol with me for the first time and got me to do my blood pressure tests in the thing, in the chemist every day, and text him the results just to see how I was tracking? Can you understand that every doctor that has understood this, has gone through the process of making some time to understand it, has gone, don't fucking include me in your shit? I'm like, why? This is the biggest discovery in your field. Why wouldn't you not share this beautiful discovery that's going to save millions of people's needless suffering, anguish, pain, the people that care for them, just everything, mate. It's just such a big thing. And they said, well, see out there, mate, that's my BMW. Okay? I might be on $250,000 as a GP here. What's the alternative? What does a doctor do if they've got no license and they have to go to work or they have to do a job? It's not over $100,000. They won't get anywhere near medicine again. So we have selfishness in the form of doctors. And I've known a lot of doctors over the years, and there's not many that actually go into it to help humanity. You know, a lot of them have God complexes. A lot of them feel they've studied, they're better than everyone else. They've done it to get a good money to be able to do what they want. But then once they become a doctor, you're very heavily regulated. We don't want misinformation telling too many people too many things. We want to keep our medicine where it is, and that's okay. You want to keep medicine up your ass, that's cool, but when something cool comes along, we need to look at it, mate, you know. And I've sent a letter to the Prime Minister, go, mate, fair enough, you've sent this shit to the Health Minister, and they've got doctors and professors and people have checked this out and da-da-da. This is bigger than fucking you and me, mate. You need to fucking get on top of this and just run one test. Just fucking fund it, run it, and see what happens. Now, he then sent it to the Health Minister. The Health Minister put me on to Michelle, who's the director in charge of mental health and suicide for prevention in Australia. And she said, oh, you can go and engage with primary health networks around Australia which have the autonomy to make decisions about the Australian medical landscape, treatments, therapies, bits and pieces. And I thought, okay, I'll do that. So I engaged all 32 of them, and I soon found that they were just sending me on a wild goose chase, because not only is the primary health networks all over Australia, they only deal with people in their area. So they're like, oh, Aaron, you don't live in North Melbourne, West Melbourne, so you can't apply for this trial funding, blah, 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 blah. Oh, okay. So I've moved to different places in Australia to take advantage of this thing, and I've got a letter from the fucking Health Minister's office, you know, like it's pretty cool. So I then target a whole lot of professors and doctors and everyone that deals in this area. Now, I don't know if any of you understand about energy transfer, how if someone's, you know, yelling and screaming at you, just be quiet, look at them, and don't give them your energy. As soon as you fucking arc up, give it back, then it comes back. It's an energy exchange. You go back and forth, gets fucking grows, gets uglier in bits and pieces. If you don't say anything, that person will diffuse. They'll eventually just fucking diffuse themselves out. And a lot of it goes to, you know, with conspiracy theories and bits and pieces as well. If I get one government or doctor, whatever, goes, yeah, let's run the trial, and he goes with me, then there is no longer that governing body will fix them up. So basically what I'm saying is, you listening to this as a human being, unfortunately, don't have the best possible healthcare that's available to you, no matter where you're listening in the world, because the system is all sewn up. And I have tested that system over 8 years, lots of correspondences, and it's all gone fucking nowhere. And I have the greatest discovery that's ever happened. So even if there was other discoveries, other areas, which there will be, nothing is completed. It's all a fucking rigged world. So if you want the truth, be ready for a different kind of life, okay? You think that you can be me and be normal and be, how would I say it, and you just go about your normal life? No. Once you see the truth, once you see things, okay, there's not many people that are going to be in my position where they've cured an incurable disease. They've done it, they've tested it on other people, it's repeatable, works every time, all right? And so you're not going to find a person like me then that's gone to a system and then gone to someone and gone, hey, I've fucking worked it out. No one's done that. No one's done anything. No one's healed anything, remember, in the whole history of the world. There must be a reason for that. It's around, you know what I mean? So no one's had anything to go to these people to be able to find out that the system is fucking rigged, basically. Because of that rigged system, that just means that you don't have the best possible outcomes for your health. You've got a lessened down, a watered down version that suits if you can monetize it, basically. But hey, just, you know, you can't just know that shit, then wake up tomorrow and go about life about the normal way. It's like if I give up. If I give up and go, no, you guys are just fucking way too hard to fucking break open to tell you the truth. It's easier to fool you than to fucking make you believe the truth. That's the truth right there. It's easier to fool you than to make you believe the truth. And I've actually tested that out as well. So you don't have the best possible outcomes for yourself. What sort of a fucking world does that? And then you go, it's like when I tell people, you know, that I've done this, and I've said in many podcasts before, they go, oh, you're lucky to still be alive, they haven't whacked you. Why would the general population, no matter where they're from, all around Australia and the world, all say the same thing? That's fear. They've been indoctrinated with fear somewhere. Where has the fear been able to enter that person's system through their senses or a sub-belief somewhere, and now someone brings something up which should be the greatest discovery of all time to save lives, millions of lives, and help 1 billion people, and instead the first response is, oh wow, you're lucky to be alive. What the fuck? That doesn't sound like a world that I want to be part of. Do you know what I mean? Not when you've got high cost of living, crisis all around the world. It costs so much to live a fucking boring life. All your money's going to tax, rent, bills, the cost of food. There's no fucking, you know, big, you know, amounts of fucking abundance left over there, and all this money going to tax, and these people are meant to be doing the right thing by us. They're not doing the right thing by us. They're playing a game. Okay, all these private schoolboys are fucking getting into politics, getting into power, manipulating the thing, accumulating huge amounts of fucking wealth, which they wouldn't have had any otherwise. Why would Scott Morrison be worth $50 million, the next Prime Minister that's only did fucking one term? Why? Because he's a fucking more of a crook than the fucking people locked up in penitentiary. That's why. But when you do it legally, when you do it with a smile on your face, when you're a cunt, because that's what he would have to be able to make some of those decisions, when you become a cunt, right, then you've got the money. Then you become a bully, and that's what keeps you there. So there's not really anyone that's out to help you. I don't know if you know that, but we have a funny world where, as I said in the start of this, everyone's starting to wake up. So it's just slower and more uncomfortable than expected. But either way, it's still waking up. So it's not a matter of if we wake up, it's a matter of when we wake up. And that all then becomes a game now, because the people that are ingrained in keeping us controlled or keeping the system the way it is, but lots of people that handle huge amounts of fucking billions and trillions of dollars, they don't want change to jeopardize their beautiful way of taking advantage in life. And so they've put propaganda in play and fear and indoctrination and all this stuff. But it's still not enough. We are awakening at, alarming rates all around the world. And it's now not just people like me that have had big, profound experiences and healings that's made them open their eyes to what further injustices have been doing to people. It's not just me, but it's just everyday people now. When I first started on this journey of healing myself 8 years ago, almost to the day, it wasn't even, my perception anyway, this is my perception, but it felt like there wasn't even 1% of people awake. I remember healing myself, and I sent Chef Pete Evans, who was still on TV on My Kitchen Rules at that stage, and I just happened to have some dialogue or something with him on an Instagram account, so I sent him the information of what I'd done. Can you see how... So he was interested, and he was into health and still into keto and bits and pieces like that while he was still doing My Kitchen Rules. So back then there was no one coming out with all these conspiracy theories, with all this stuff. It's obviously before COVID as well. COVID fucking woke the fuck up out of everyone, really. Great fucking thing. So we've got this awakening happening, and now it's saturating, it's penetrating, it's percentage-wise is growing. I can feel it. And after the last 8 years, otherwise someone in my place that's been cancelled, labelled, ignored, made to feel like he was going crazy, would go crazy. You know those conspiracy theorists that go fucking yell and scream and go absolutely nuts because they're being forced to, right? That's what I should be like. I should be dark on the world. I should be negative on everyone. I should be hurt and broken and, really jaded. I guess if that's a word. But I'm not. And it's because I can see the progression from 8 years ago growing to what it is today, and I can see that the end is in sight. I can see within the next 18 months the growth, the consciousness rise, the awakening levels getting to such a point there's no turning back. The good, the positive hits the front and it wins. It's been quite a dark and negative and dense sort of a world that we've had to live in and survive in. And, I know even me growing up, being born in the 70s and going through the 80s and living with, small mind mentality, life-limiting beliefs from, generations gone past. And I can see it blooming on the other side to a point where just the truth will set you free. Isn't that amazing? Remember that saying? All the sayings that you've heard, I'll do another podcast on this, are so true. Like the truth will set you free. ignorance is bliss. It is. When I knew nothing, I was having a fucking ball, mate. You ask anyone, they go, mate, Aaron's the fucking, not only the life of the party, he doesn't take anything serious in life. That's what people used to say about me in previous years, up until the last few years, where I've obviously healed myself and gone down a very different path. But before that, yeah, they were like, mate, is this guy even fucking... It used to frustrate a lot of people around me, actually, because I was so fucking loose. Now it's just, I don't know, content knowing. That's what the soul part is, right? You know, when you learn linear, and it's a 1 to 10, and you go through, and by the time you get to 10, you're meant to know something. The soul learns by consuming huge amounts of information that forms a knowing. When you form a knowing, you've got to test it as well. We're not just saying you just blindly believe that, you know, when it's like being presented with so much information that it couldn't be any other way, couldn't be anything else. That's what that knowing, okay? And there's people in the know. When you go on a healing process of even just healing, you know, insecurities, fears, wounds, you have to learn that way, because it's not a linear physical thing, right? There's something within you, whether it be that identity crisis, whether it be something doesn't add up, why are you getting, you know, triggered and hurt by, why you're so sensitive over things. And it's because you've got a history with those things, and that history is what sets you free, because you then identify when you're in that feeling or when you're getting hurt, and then you try and sit with it as long as you can and understand it. The more you understand it, the more you'll let it go, and eventually you'll understand it so much that you'll feel sorry for the people that did it for you. You'll get to a point you go, fuck, they didn't know that I was fucking hurt by this. They didn't know this. They didn't know what they're doing. They got no fucking line. They got, you know. And eventually you come to a point and you go, oh, it's gone. Sometimes it rears its head back a bit later. And you go, fuck, I thought I dealt with that. And it comes out again. Processing on the soul timeline is not linear, right? There's no fucking standard set time for processing. Every single person's different. That's why the soul thing, it can get misunderstood sometimes. You know, it's just, yet when you get past your conspiracy theory phase, you know, because when you're a conspiracy theorist, you found something, it's true, right? All the conspiracy theories online at the moment are all coming true. There's not many that aren't proven or whatever. But when you come and you've got a conspiracy theory, you get so excited that you found something. You want to share it with everyone. You want to help everyone, right? But they don't realize that energy is fucking in your face. And so it's not a very attractive energy, if that's what you want to call it. And so we find ourselves in I guess that energy that it's gonna thanks bro, thank you. Energy doesn't lie. You know, when you meet someone, you can tell how they feel about you, especially if they like you. Energy doesn't lie. You can tell. You can always tell. And it goes both ways, obviously, as well. So you've got all these beautiful filters, things in life, emotional guidance system, go internal. It's all there, which gives you the most content, beautiful, balanced life that you're very proud of, very happy, and very balanced with. And that, balance is all about, identifying and reflecting and giving yourself credit, and all that sort of stuff. It's a game, but because no one knows how, they don't. I've worked out how, but it took me fucking years and lots of fucking anguish and shit. So, can you understand what I'm saying? What the fuck? Sorry, I'm just driving around. Someone just on a scooter just pulled out in front of me. So you can see, like, what I'm saying as far as the energetically, that there's a lot more to this life than we actually know now, because the good stuff we don't know how. It doesn't mean that we won't always know how. It's things like this podcast that talk to something within each and every one of us that awakens something and to our true self. And when you meet your true self, and I do a lot of work with a lot of people, don't do it anymore. I'm off the consulting work now. I'll do some mentoring with a couple of people that I've worked with for a long time. But people that don't know how, when we start stripping away everything that's not them, and they meet what's left, which is the true self, they fall in love. Every single time they go, oh my God, I'm so in love with this person. You can't not love the true self. You can't not love yourself. When you take everything away and you go, well, that's me. But it takes such amount of work and processing and stripping and all the rest of it to get to that point. So there's a lot of healing in the world that needs to go on from here onwards, and not just to do with the serious stuff and the traumas which can't be touched, but even just fears and insecurities. I spent 6 months walking a beach on the Gold Coast, just healing people that I'm never going to get an apology for people that don't even know what they've probably done to me. Or a lot of them do know what they've done. But that process was releasing it, not for them, but it's for me. I don't want to get built up resentment and fucking anger and things for people that I'm never going to get an apology for them. So I spent some time and I got really, really into space and I cleared them. And it wasn't easy, but like, as I've said multiple times before, not in this podcast, have you got time to take 6 months off your life, or take infinity off and not know when, how long this is going to take, because it's the soul stuff, and just go out and do this healing work and do this balancing work you're going to be benefit from it like you wouldn't believe if you trust my words. But there's no one, because of the cost of living and because of the fucking Roman circus and us being distracted and overstimulated and sexually stimulated and all the rest of it, we don't see that we haven't got time. We can't survive. How are you going to fucking survive if you need to put fucking food on the table? You got kids, you got bits and pieces. I've been very, very fortunate that I was born into a family that had 14 hospitality businesses. And then I've had a long-term relationship, and in that long-term relationship, which went for 20-something years, I was lucky that my long-term partner, we had a child and everything, never put that stress on me to be in that mainstream type of a life. It was okay. We met under the pretenses of being alternative, and that sort of helped not put the pressure on me from that perspective. So the reason why someone doesn't do something is because they don't know how. Anyone can work out how. It's going internal. Don't spend any money on it. I've spent not $1 on any spiritual growth over the last 20-something years. Over my whole lifetime, I've spent nothing. I've done no courses, done nothing. I've just gone internally. And now I know more spiritually about who we are, how we work, what system we're part of, how it all works, how to test it, how to get practical applications for every bit of fucking woo-woo that you can possibly think. So if I can do it, you can, because I'm fucking dumb as... and that's true. I didn't pass school. I'm not an intelligent person whatsoever. In fact, I'm probably slower than most. So you can definitely do anything that I've done, and that includes all the magic. Thanks for listening once again. This is the Aaron Resource Podcast. Have a lovely day. Thank you.